everyone, this is Nisi, also known as Tanique, and I'm back with my fourth video in this Simply Life, the journey of Tanique. That's kind of what I want to call it, the journey of Nisi. My last video, I stopped off at when I found out I was pregnant, and I still am currently pregnant. Today, I am, oh gosh, I should know this, shouldn't I? Let's see. I am not doing very well with all the weeks. I'm so used to thinking in months, and I used to make fun of people who had kids, and you say, how old is your baby? And they would be like, they're, 16 weeks or they're 22 weeks. And I'm like, could you translate that to months? So now I'm that person, but I wanted to get the exact day I'm logging on to Baby Center. I am 15 weeks and 5 days today, pregnant via embryo donation. I don't hate me, folks, but I have just been so blessed or so lucky that I have not had any morning sickness. I have not had any really cravings, no indigestion, no heartburn. I told my doctor if I didn't know I was pregnant, I wouldn't know I was pregnant. Well, now I would, because I would be like, why is my stomach starting to poke out a little bit? Let's see if I stand up. I do have, yep, I'm starting to have a pooch. Oh my gosh, yes. Sorry, I got on my yoga pants. So it has finally popped out. And I think that happened overnight, because I woke up this morning on my way to the gym, and I'm like, what happened? So again, 15 weeks, 5 days. So happy. Still high level of anxiety after having miscarriages. When you find out you're pregnant, it's just for the first few weeks, and still even now, it's just been the same, because when I found out, I did my first beta test, the doctor called in and told me I was pregnant. Then I had to go back in 2 days to make sure my numbers were going up, or they doubled, and they did, and went back in and they, tripled or whatever, the numbers kept going up. Then I had to wait like 2 weeks to go in and do my first ultrasound. So of course, in my head, I was like, there's not gonna, I know I probably shouldn't have spoken, but I was like, there's not gonna be anything here. There's not, I'm not having any sickness. I'm not showing anything. When I went, I didn't get to see my doctor. She was not working there, so I had to see, I was still at the fertility clinic, so I had to see the physician's assistant, and I just told her to turn the screen because I don't want to see. And so she turned the screen, and then she was like, well, you want to see? And I was like, and then she turned it in. I didn't see nothing but black and white with some little dust, and she was like, there's your baby. And I couldn't hear the heartbeat, but I could see some fluttering. And I was no good. I bawled and bawled. And I took one of my good friends with me. I'm so thankful she came. And I cried. And I had a chance to videotape it. I had told my stepmom, but I had not told my stepsisters. So I sent them the video, and I just sat and waited. And my phone started ringing. My first stepsister, who's in Atlanta, she called me screaming. And she was like, I didn't even look at the whole video. I just saw the picture. And it was just, I felt her happiness, because they have been in this journey with me. My other stepsister, it was her birthday weekend, so she was in Atlanta. No, I'm sorry. She did a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas, so I knew she was flying back. I thought she was probably on the plane. No, needless to say, she called me, and on the same day, again, as I was stating, I'm going through the foster care adoption, I'm still going through that process, and I had a meeting with my intake worker. So she was here, and we was going through, I'm still going through the paperwork, and my phone kept ringing, and it was my stepsister, and I didn't want to be rude, so I didn't answer. And then finally, I just said, can I text her? And I text her and said, look, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back. And of course, she was like, you better call me back. So as soon as the intake person left, I called her back. We all have one of these people in our family. I love my stepsister to death. She is that friend. If you need to have somebody cuss somebody out, and you probably shouldn't do that, but if you do, she's the person you call, because she's going to tell you how she feels, and she is not going to mix words. And of course, I'm going to try to be the professional one and worry about how I say it. I don't want to hurt your feelings and blah, blah, blah. So needless to say, she cussed me out and planned my baby shower at the same time. So it was priceless. She was just so ecstatic and over the moon. And of course, she was mad that not mad, but why I didn't tell her and this and this. And I said, for this same reason, I wanted you guys to just find out. And then I sent it to just a small group of friends. Just real, I think maybe 3 or 4 of my closest friends. Because of course I didn't want to broadcast it because, you know, I still was dealing with, you know, is this truly going to continue to, this pregnancy will continue. And I did send it to my ex. So I sent it to my ex and I was just like, you know, I'm pregnant. I can't believe it. He didn't say anything because I knew he didn't know what to say. So it had been probably about 2 weeks since we've talked. I didn't expect him to say anything. And now I had to wait another 2 weeks to go to a follow-up appointment. So I'm going through anxieties. And this time I was like, I need to see my doctor. So 2 weeks later, I went in. I did the same thing. My doctor, you know, Dr. Johnson, I call her LJ. Love her. So I did the same thing. I was like, I can't look at the screen. I couldn't. My anxiety level, I was like, by now I'm already emotional. My nurse Becky is in there with me. They have been through this journey with me for the last 5 years. Dr. Johnson, you know, of course, these are internal ultrasounds. And she looked at the screen. She was like, but Tanique, you're a baby. I was like, there's a baby. And she turned to me and said, yes, look. Oh my gosh. And again, I'm a basket case. I have never experienced this. Never in my life have experienced this. I had never made it this far along in a pregnancy. And so she was like, well, we should be able to hear the heartbeat. And so I'm recording, didn't hear anything, and she's moving it around. So I'm recording, and I'm like, baby Williams doesn't want to cooperate. And all of a sudden I hear, doom, 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 doom. I was done. I'm crying, the doctor's crying, Nurse Becky is crying. I'm trying to record, and it was just the best sound in my life. Of course, I sent it to my stepsister, sent it to my ex. And I just told him, I said, I'm so thankful that I did not give up on this journey. This is the sweetest sound ever. And if I would have gave up, I would have not heard this. So they didn't release me from the fertility clinic. They wanted me to stay till I was 10 weeks. So I think at that point I was 8 weeks. So shared the news to those who knew. Still anxiety, still like 2 weeks. I'm counting the calendar. Still no symptoms, you know, still working out, still playing tennis. Because again, she told me this is what I do. So continue to do it. So that's what I did. No issues. I did have one issue, and I blame myself because I did go to the gym one day and I actually got dizzy and had to lay down on the floor with my personal trainer. And that was my fault because I'm bad about going to the gym and not eating because I go at 6:30 in the morning when I work out with my personal trainer, and I had not had anything to eat, and it hit me like the room started spinning. I literally had to lay down on the floor. So that was the first thing. So I knew I couldn't get away with not eating anymore. So from, you know, that point on, my joint trainer was like, do not come in here if you have not eaten anything. So point taken. So I went back, fast forward 2 weeks, went back, heard the heartbeat again. And that was the day that she was able to release me. And, you know, I had already scheduled an appointment because I am that person. I had already scheduled an appointment with my OBGYN because I knew I wasn't going to be able to see my personal OBGYN. If they tell you the first meeting, it's like your prenatal meeting and you meet with the physician's assistant. So I got on her calendar. I think I got released on Wednesday. I was at my OBGYN on that Friday. If I could have got it the same day, I probably would have did it the same day. But I think I could have, but I didn't because in the back of my head, if something goes wrong, I didn't want to have this appointment on the calendar that I was going to have to cancel. So luckily that didn't happen. But the ladies at my fertility clinic, oh my gosh, there was a nurse that had been with me. She actually started with me, and then she went to nursing school, and then she was working part-time at the fertility clinic. She came in just on that day because she saw my name. I know sometimes fertility clinics, I know they get a bad rap. And I know, you know, we probably, sorry, somebody was texting me. I know, you know, when you're dealing with financials and, you know, it's just sometimes issues where, you know, when you're going through this and there may be issues with the fertility clinics, but I can't say mine, we never had any hiccups, but for the most, it was positive, and I built a relationship with all of those ladies. Everyone in the office just gave me hugs. Everybody was crying. They were just so excited, and and they always just told me I was just always positive when I came in there, because I knew they wanted this for me just as much as I wanted for myself, and especially my doctor. So when I left, I went and got them some edible arrangements and brought it back to the ladies. So again, I was released. Friday, I went to my prenatal, did my panel of blood work. Everything looked good. Scheduled my follow-up for, I think it was 2 weeks later. And then I also, because of my age, now, even though I'm 44, my baby, or the genetic parents, they are, I think they were 32. So it's kind of weird, because I still have to go to the maternal fetal medicine or the MFM doctor because of my age. IVF, high risk, my age. But again, that's my age. It's not my embryo's age. But still went to that appointment, did my first 3D ultrasound. Oh my gosh, that lady in there was awesome. She was very gentle. We cried together. I think there's a whole lot of crying been going on. And we just talked. Both of her kids were adopted, and everything looked good. We talked about genetic counseling. I decided there to do the NIPT test, and that is a screening for like Down syndrome. There's some other things that they screen for. It's not diagnosing, because diagnosis is when you do the amniocentesis, where they go in and they take a piece of your placenta and they test, and 100% can confirm Down syndrome and a host of like 300 other things, I think she said. And I have to make the decision if I'm going to do that, and I haven't decided yet. But with the NIPT test, they will also be able to give me the sex of the baby. And I went in for that appointment that was a Thursday before Thanksgiving. And I was like, please, can I get the results before Thanksgiving? Because I wanted to do a small gender reveal when I was at home with my stepmom and stepsisters, and my stepsister from Atlanta was going to be home. So she was like, I can't promise you, but I'll try. So I went through that. I think I went to see my OBGYN during that time too. She was very excited for me, because I had been going to her, and she was the one that found again how severe my endometriosis was with doing an MRI. She was like, when I saw your name, she was like, she said I had to do a double take. But she just knew my journey. Everyone knew my journey, knew my struggles of trying to conceive, and she was just ecstatic for me. She spent as much time as she needed talking to me, and I told her my anxiety level, how high it was. And what I love about her, she was like, Tanique, if you need to come in here just to hear your baby heartbeat to make you feel better, then you do that. Just call, schedule a quick appointment, and come in. And I have did that once, but before I bought my own fetal Doppler. But just thankful for her that, and just being willing to ease my anxiety as best as she possibly could. And I went home for Thanksgiving. On my way down on that Wednesday, I got a call like 8:30. I was like, this number looks familiar, because like a lot of us, we get all these calls, and a lot of times I'm thinking they're spam. Picked it up, and she was like, this is so-and-so from the maternal fetal medicine. Now, this is genetic doctor from the maternal fetal medicine, and shared my results. Everything looked good. And she's like, oh, I'm not supposed to tell you the gender. And I was like, no, because it's sending through the portal, because I'm on my way home and I want to do a gender reveal and hear the results with my family. So she was like, okay, when so-and-so gets in, I'll have her do it. By now, it's like 8:39. I get home about 10:30, no results, call them back. The person's not in, but I end up getting the email around about 12. And I was heading to one of my cousin's house to visit. So I'm at my 15 minutes, and I'm going to try next time to see if it'll let me do more than 15 minutes. But, now in my next video, I just share, I do know the gender of my baby. I do have a name. But again, I am doing great, 15 weeks, 5 days. And my due date is my birthday. My 45th birthday, June 5th. Now, will they let me go that long? I don't know, but I want a Gemini baby. And then I have a twin, so it'll be on our birthday. And then one of my good friends, her daughter was born on my birthday. So we're going to see. So baby Williams is due June 5th, 2020. Thanks again for listening to my story. If anyone has any questions about the embryo donation process, what I did, what the process was, please let me know. Bye bye.